All right, in this module, I'm going to be going over the psychology of health. Ultimately, anything that we have in life is due to the mindset, the way of thinking, right? Everything we have up until this point, your body, your wealth, your relationships, your business, your clients, your customers, your situations, your tragedies, your triumphs, your strengths, your weaknesses, are all due to your own thinking. This reality is mental, and first it's an outward projection of what's going on internally here, right? We have to take responsibility for our health in order to actually have it. We have to take responsibility for our actions in order to reflect upon them, optimize them, and continue to implement them to get the results that we want in life. So we are constantly a product of what we think about, which generates a feeling, a behavior, and a result. And that habitually happens over and over and over and over again. You think a certain way, it produces a feeling, it produces an action, and that produces a result. And then that continues to circle over and over and over again. And you hear the statistic that we get to a certain age, 95% of what we do is already internally ingrained, and 5% is only original new thought, new introduction of new things into your mind. And we have to become more consciously aware in order to create the life that you want. And health is a big, big part of that, if not the biggest part of all of that. Health equals wealth. Health in every literal sense, in every physical sense, in every emotional, mental, and spiritual sense. Health is so, so important. So, what I want to do is drive home the psychology of health, the way of thinking that is going to influence your thoughts. And this module is going to branch into all other series of inputs, all other series of modules that are going to continuously train and reframe and structure a frame of mind that becomes impenetrable, something that cannot break. No matter what's around it, no matter what's going on, you continue to be this way, no matter what. And that is really true health. You could be immersed in stress, you could be immersed in disease, you could be immersed in situations that most people would get sick from. And health is the ability to stay resilient and stay structured and disciplined and in a state of being that is health, regardless of what's around it. And it's first and foremost how we think, and you have to truly embody that. So this starting of psychology of health, the psychology of health is going to have practices, it's going to have training, it's going to have resources and videos from other practitioners who I look up to, who I've mentored with, who I constantly instill into my own mind to shape my own thinking. And input drives output. If you want a certain output, or if you have a certain output or a result that you're not happy with, you have to reverse engineer and look at the input that you're taking in. So the information you're taking in, the nutrition that you're taking in, the vitamins and minerals that you're taking in, the food that you're taking in, the energy that you're accepting, the energy and thought of others that you're taking in drives output, the results that we have in life. So you need to optimize your input to create the output that you want. And that's why you're in this program, because the input from this program drives results of a certain nature, of a certain level of expectation. And that's why you signed up for this, because you expect to get a certain result out of it. And it's because of the input and your allowance, that open-mindedness, the acceptance, the willingness to be able to take on that input, to ingest that input and absorb it. That's the most important piece to all of this. It drives the output and the results that you want, that you desire, that you know is there. You got to be open-minded. You got to be willing to absorb information. And I say this with nutrition. And it's just as important with the input and information that you're taking in here and everywhere. It's not about what you digest. It's not about what you take in and digest. It's what you can actually absorb and utilize. When you take in food, you don't absorb all the food due to many different factors. Deficiencies, enzyme deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, create an inability to break down certain foods, certain vitamins, certain minerals, certain nutrients that prohibit your body from being able to absorb and utilize it properly, right? So we need to optimize our ability to absorb nutrients through the protocols and methodologies in this program to absorb more of the food that you take in. And as you can absorb and utilize more of those nutrients, this is how you become more healthy. This is how you become more wealthy. This is how you become more energized. This is how you optimize hormones. This is how you optimize how you look, feel, and perform. Because you're able to take in, person A could be eating all the right things and absorbing only 50% of it and utilizing only 50% of it. And that creates more work, more energy, more willpower that has to be put into other things in order to get the results that they want. You, on the other hand, are in a position and in a place with the right information and the right protocols to where you can eat and absorb much more, 70%, 80%, 90% of the information that you take in, the nutrients that you take in and absorb and utilize them, and you get more out of less work, more out of less willpower, because it's automated. You're automating health. And this is a psychology of health. This is a psychology of success. This is a psychology of life, to optimize it in the way that you want. So you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to silence the noise. You have to be willing to separate yourself from popular thought and start to create individual thought and think for yourself and absorb the information that you're taking in, chew it, digest it, absorb it, and utilize it. And then it's going to start to shape your mind, your way of thinking, your feelings, your behaviors, and thus your results. Going back to that cyclical, continuous cycle of habit, right? And we start by optimizing our thought. So input drives output. So these modules are going to continuously shape, mold, and help you increase your absorption of the right information to shape the psychology of health. And as you think healthy, you will be healthy. You will have health. So the old saying goes, in order to have what you want, you first must be that individual, right? So be, do, have. If you're not familiar with this, it's just simply reverse engineering. You want something, you want to have health, you want to have that body, you want to have high testosterone, you want to have high energy, high sex drive, you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to perform at a high level, you want to be your best, you want to feel 10, 15 years younger. You want those things, you first have to be that individual. And in order to be that individual, you have to think like that individual. And then you will do the things that that individual thinks about. And as you do those things consistently over time, you are going to have what that individual would have as he is, thinks, does, and ultimately has. So I just wanted to go into the overview of this, the purpose behind this module and the way of thinking through this module, and to ultimately shape the expectations that you should be taking this information in on a daily basis. The resources that are provided within this should be taken in on a daily basis, multiple times a day, while you're driving, while you're going for walks, quiet time with yourself. You need to implement and digest and you need to take in, ingest information that is going to shape your output. The input needs to be curated, and that's the purpose of this, is curated material, information that you don't need to go out and search for, that is going to be just available to you at a click of a button to be able to absorb this information on a daily basis. And there's going to be more than enough information here to endlessly continue down the path that you're going down. It's going to reshape your thinking, and it's going to influence you in all ways. It's going to affect your business. It's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect your your ability to lead. It's going to affect your health, of course. It's going to affect how you look, how you feel. All these things are going to be affected in a positive way, in a way that you desire. And you're going to continuously mold, shape, and develop that. It never ends. You don't just get the body and then just go, it quits and go, okay, I'm good. Go back to the old ways, because you're going to go back and have the old ways of being fat, sick, lethargic, low energy, sick, etc. Stressed, right? But we're remolding and reshaping you to where you're going to feel energized, you're going to feel optimized, you're going to feel energetic, you're going to feel joy, you're going to feel excitement, you're going to feel young, you're going to feel just fruitful and energized with life, right? And that's what we want to constantly instill. That's the psychology of health, the way of thinking. So we're going to go into some practices, some resources, and it's just going to continuously build. And just make sure you take time on a daily basis in order to take these practices in, to take these resources in, to take these inputs in. Everything within the program, whether it's reviewing the nutrition framework, whether it's going on to the community board and looking at the resources and videos that are posted on there, whether it's the information that's provided in here, just on a daily basis, make a commitment to absorb and utilize this information, because this is going to continuously shape and strengthen your mind to think in a certain way, act in a certain way, and ultimately have what you want in a certain way. So that's it for the overview of the psychology of health. I look forward to seeing you in the next modules. Take care.